How does a session with me look like? This is a question I get asked very, very often. And so this work is psychospiritual. This work is somatic therapy, very deep healing, growth work. I've also been a meditator for almost 20 years now. So meditation is part of it sometimes. It's spirituality really matters to me in my life. So that's part of it too. But let's look at the healing part of it. Trauma healing, relational healing, the wounded inner child in us, how to take care of that child. We get to learn that really well through this kind of work. So you might come to a session already with something alive in you. And if that's the case, let's say something happened 4 days ago with your romantic partner, Mike. I'm just going to assume that you're a woman and here's Mike, your partner, and something happened. If you're a man, maybe think about another name. Whatever your partner's name is, we're not going to get into the gender stuff in this conversation. So, whatever their name is, think about them. I might say to you, after you tell me about what happened for maybe a minute or two, 3, 5, maybe, and then I might say to you, okay, take a deep breath, turn to your side, and your partner is in front of you. What do you want to say to him? What do you want to say to her, to them? Let's continue with Mike. What do you want to say to him? And now I'm giving you, depending on what you say, I'm giving you unfinished sentences that become your sentences that you are using with Mike. And you finish those sentences with your own words, very spontaneously. I might give you a sentence like this. When you yelled at me yesterday, I felt, and you're speaking to Mike, and you say in that moment, really hurt. And then I might say, and I also felt, and now, maybe now you say lonely. You felt really hurt and lonely. From there, there's a possibility for us to explore that loneliness. Of course, it wasn't okay the way that Mike treated you a few days ago. It wasn't okay for him to yell at you. But now we're also exploring the wounded child within, and suddenly the loneliness came, maybe in your experience, very strongly. Now we're taking a moment to explore the loneliness. And then I might give you another sentence and say, I used to feel really lonely as a child when. Now we are in past wounding, early wounding. And maybe you say, when my parents left and I was alone with my sister at home. Or I was alone with my grandpa at home, or just alone. So we get to explore, make connections with early wounding and the different ways that you feel today, especially in your closest relationships. So we visit wound in the past. There is a healing experience. I help you with role plays. You get to express what you couldn't express in the past. Maybe there is someone else there. You get to maybe express your healthy anger you didn't have the voice to back then. Now, from an empowered place, we come back to your dynamic with your romantic partner, because that too needs to be addressed. The way that that person, your partner is treating you today is still not healthy, but how can you function from your wholeness in your communication with your partner today at a place where you are also seeing your wounding and you're taking care of the child inside? You're also learning to protect that child from further abuse, further relationship boundary breaches that might happen in our relationships. So the work continues to deepen, deepen, deepen. You get to digest your early wounding. As that happens, the mind begins to calm down automatically. Stillness, quiet mind. You feel you're connecting with your sense of dignity, self-worth, healthy pride, healthy self-worth, dignity, and healthy empowerment. You get to be aware of your needs, You get to express yourself, make requests, and it also becomes easier for you to apologize after you cross someone else's boundary because you're simply more in touch with yourself. So these are some of the things that we work on: trauma healing, deep inner child wounding healing, relational sanity, learning to express things, softening inside, and taking care of that softening, being able to protect that tenderness within us, getting in touch with all our emotions, getting in touch with also the shame in us that we carry, and the inner critic that catalyzes that shame, that makes it worse, the unworthiness. We get to speak up to the inner critic. We get to protect the wounded child in us against the inner critic, this internalized bully of you are like this, you are like that, you're not enough, you're not man enough, you're not this, you're not that. And all the shaming, all the controlling, all the society's programming and shoulds that come in to us as toxic, oppressive energy. So we do a lot of work on the inner critic too. So I hope that this very short explanation of how these sessions work, usually how they go, and it's a very natural process, very gentle process. It's a direct process, a deep, yet also very compassionate, gentle process in which you feel truly respected as a human being. There's nothing wrong with you. There's never been anything wrong with you, wrong with any of us, but you get to feel that. You get to feel it in your whole being, and then you know. With me telling you, with anyone else telling you there's nothing wrong, nothing will change in your life. You have to feel that for yourself. So I hope that this was helpful for you.